Alright, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle and welcome to Video Games Night number 2. I've wanted to make a second episode of this for the longest time. The first one happened in July or August, so it's been about 6 months. Since then, my cat has become a little bit chunkier than before. She's also a little bit crazier, but that's going to work in our favor because she'll be entertaining in the background, just kind of doing this kind of stuff. And this time around, we're going to be focusing on 2 games instead of 3. With 3 games, I do want to go back to every once in a while playing, 3 or 4 games, but this time around I just want to focus on 2 games because then I'm able to not get distracted by thinking about the other games and just really zero in on these specific ones. So they are both on the Xbox One. I got them around Christmas time. They are games that came out in 2014 and they both start with the letter S. So the first one is an Xbox One exclusive and that is Sunset Overdrive. I've heard some really good things about this and I really want to jump into the craziness of this game. It just looks like a blast. It's like Tony Hawk plus Infamous plus, I don't know, just a bunch of craziness. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And Shadow of Mordor Middle-earth. Anything Lord of the Rings I'm usually interested, but I haven't played a Lord of the Rings game probably since Return of the King on the PS2. So it's been a while, but I loved the Two Towers and Return of the King. More so Two Towers, but I'm really looking forward to this. It's like an Assassin's Creed Lord of the Rings with a Lord of the Rings coat and paint. So I'm looking forward to this game as well. Now, we are going to have the intermission between one game and the other. I am going to be having a specific kind of chip that is very Canadian. That's all I'm going to say. I've never had this kind of chip before, so I'm really looking forward to it as well. And I took the liberty of pre-installing. Normally I would unbox these to show you that I've never played them before, but I had to unbox them and install them because if not, it would have been taking quite a long time and it would have been something like this. Alright, installing the first game and hopefully this won't take too long. I'm still at 1%, but that's just the beginning. On the other hand, that could have been kind of entertaining. Anywho, let's get on with the first game, Sunset Overdrive. My character is totally rocking the pink Sexburger shirt here. Douchebag. Okay, so the funnest thing about this game is just the gliding around. It's so much fun. It totally reminds me of Tony Hawk. I haven't played Tony Hawk in years. It takes a bit of getting used to because you have to kind of just jump around. And that's one of the things about this game is that you have to constantly be moving around. You can't just stand around when there's monsters or the zombies, whatever you want to call them. The ops, I think is what they're called. I don't know. But you can just hop. It's so much fun. You can speed yourself up. You can switch like this. You can turn it around if you need to. You can hop to something else. Everything makes you bounce basically, and you can just flow right through. It's really fun. It's pretty fluid. It just, the angles kind of sometimes you don't know, if you're jumping, if you're on the ground, this is what it's like when you're on the ground. It's pretty darn slow. That's why you always want to be bouncing. You can always hop on cars, and it's just sometimes hard to gauge where you need to hop. But other than that, once you're up in the air, you're pretty much fine. You can kind of shoot. There's no baddies around here, but okay, so that was Sunset Overdrive. I really had fun with this. It's very much, like I said, Tony Hawk style, and I like the humor that they have. Everything is pretty much a joke. There's just comedy galore. They swear a lot, and you can actually change it. If you don't like swearing, you can take it out. I'm okay with swearing in video games if they made it comedic. If they're just swearing to swear because they want the M-rated, that I don't care for, but the way that they were doing it in this, I found it really hilarious. It seems like a game you can just kind of pick up and play and just kind of go around and just have fun gliding around in the world, so pretty cool so far. So now, Callie's coming to join us because food's going to be involved, so of course, Little Miss Chunkette wants... Hi! You hungry? Well, let's try out these... this is the intermission time, so we're going to try out a very Canadian kind of chip. It's apparently poutine flavored. Poutine, however you want to pronounce it. Poutine is how you're supposed to pronounce it. I don't know how these are going to be. They smell pretty good. They don't smell like poutine though. Alrighty, what do you think? How many calories is it? 20 chips is 250. You don't need an extra 250. It doesn't taste like poutine. And there's a little bit of like a spice that comes in the aftertaste. Interesting. I'd say that they probably taste a little bit like, they have a little bit of like a Ringolos taste. But it does not taste like poutine, and they're kind of spicy, which poutine is not at all. This doesn't taste like cheese and gravy on French fries. But not too bad. Apparently they're made from Quebec. The Shadow of Mordor is up next. Stay tuned.
Alright, so this game feels a lot like... Oops! You doodle. So this game feels a lot like Assassin's Creed. I didn't expect it to feel that much like Assassin's Creed, but there is a bunch of different stuff to the game. It feels a lot like it when you're playing it, but there's if you die, whoever kills you becomes really popular and they get promoted, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second here. So there's stealth options, so you go around and you can kill them. That's kind of cool. Then you free the human slaves. Alright, so let's have these guys. What happens is right here you have a chance of saving yourself. So I go over here, press B, and that will instantly kill him. But if it was supposed to, I guess it didn't. But let's just say if I die, what will happen? Alright, now the boss. Alright. So let's die from this guy. Yeah. Okay, so I've died, and now he was pretty much a nobody, but now he's going to be promoted because he ended up killing me. And then he can go try to kill another orc to get their position, because he was a nobody before, so he'll duel somebody for that position. He killed him. So now he'll get promoted. Powers increase. He has armor on, so he's a little bit more powerful. Now, this guy, he was a captain already, and he survived. Like I was there, and he survived. So that's a cool little part of this game that I'm really enjoying.
All right, so that is Shadow of Mordor. Very much feels like Assassin's Creed in a gameplay when you're battling. Obviously, a few differences, but it did very much feel like that. I enjoy the battle system, but I like more so the aspect of how the orcs have rankings, and there's captains and stuff like that. And that's not even the main mission. That's just me going about and like killing orcs. There's actual missions that you have to go to, and that are centered on specific things like interrogating orcs, finding out more information. Sauron is coming back to power. It's pretty much, I think, based just before Lord of the Rings happens, like the Fellowship of the Ring. So the interesting, it's an interesting story. Your character is kind of dead, but he's in the middle of life and death. And he's pretty powerful. He has a wraith that kind of helps him, that turns him into this wraith. So a lot of stuff going on, but I just really enjoy the battle system of going around finding these orcs, you know, stealthily going up to them and killing them. So did not expect, I don't know what I was expecting from this game other than like an Assassin's Creed type of game, but I'm really hooked to this. So that's the two games that I played, Sunset Overdrive and Shadow of Mordor. I would say I had a really good time with Sunset Overdrive. This is more of like a pick up and play, just to kind of like kill like half an hour to an hour with just like going around, kind of like a Tony Hawk style game. Obviously more to it as well, but that's the vibe that I'm getting right now. And Shadow of Mordor is more like if you want to crunch down and play a few hours and you don't oh my goodness, I told you she's crazier. Jesus, I didn't expect that. Shadow of Mordor, yeah, Man. Shadow of Mordor is a lot more, if you have more time to kind of sink your teeth into it, and you can go straight for the missions, or you can kind of just go around and kill a bunch of orcs and see what happens from killing all the different captains. You can level your character up that way too. So very different games, but I will say that I'm enjoying Shadow of Mordor a bit more. I'd say a lot more, just because I didn't expect it to be that, maybe addictive is the word that I'm looking for. So two pretty good games. I'm really happy with them, and I'll be definitely be playing more as time goes on. So I'd like to thank you all for watching, and you've been bearded in with my crazy cat.
Beardage.
And they both start with the letter S. So exactly, right? So they I'm sorry, holy shit. I didn't expect that.